Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. At the time of recording, the servers are down for the finals, and I normally record videos around this time because if I don't do it now, then I don't really have time to edit the video and upload the video. So because I can't play what I would normally play today, either like a tournament game or a casual game or anything like that, I'm just going to go over what I think is going to be introduced in the newest patch that's going to arrive on Thursday in a couple of days' time. So I'm just kind of going to go through what is strong and what is weak and what I think should be nerfed and buffed, pretty much. So we're going to start off with the light class. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm not going to go through all the stuff that's already balanced. I'm just going to go through the stuff that's kind of strong and the stuff that's kind of weak. Grappling hook probably needs a buff. Either have 2 charges would be good, or just have a much faster cooldown would be good, because the cloaking device and the evasive dash are both much better. The grappling hook is quite weak. It's probably one of the weakest specializations. It probably is the weakest specialization, in fact. For the weapons, I don't really know. Maybe the M11 could get some better like iron sights, like a rework to the iron sights. That's probably not going to happen though. The shotgun is very, very strong. This should probably be made so that it takes 2 shots and 1 melee attack to kill a heavy. I think that would be good. I think that would balance it out. And when you're using the shotgun, like, it's a shotgun, so you're going to be close to them. So it's not going to be that much more difficult to 2-shot people and then melee them, but it is just going to make sure that you don't get 2-shot with it. And I think that would be just quite a small thing, but I think it would help a lot. But, you know, like, yeah, I think that would be a good change. But the thing about the light is that they're not that good. The shotgun, like, makes them usable in ranked, but it's like a very, very powerful weapon. Getting 2-shot isn't very, very fun. So I think making it so that it takes 2 shots and 1 melee attack would help a lot. Yeah, I think that's probably quite fair. As for the gadgets, like, none of these are that strong. Stun gun is, like, very okay. Glitch grenade's very okay. Probably nothing here. Everything is probably, like, okay for the time being anyway, except thermal vision. Like, this really doesn't do a whole lot in the game. Thermal vision's really bad. It's probably going to get a rework at some point. But yeah, everything else is, like, fine as it is for the gadgets, and then the reserve's just the same stuff. So to recap for the light, I think the grappling hook should probably get a buff, either increase its uses from 1 to 2, or just have a much faster cooldown. And then I think the shotgun should probably get nerfed so that it takes 2 shots and a melee to kill a heavy. So that's it for the light. And now we're just going to go on to the medium. For these specializations, recon senses are strong, yes, but the healing beam is also very, very good. I think both of those are quite okay. Recon senses might get nerfed, and if it did, then, you know, fair enough. It is quite strong. A lot of people are using it, but the healing beam is also very, very good. The guardian turret should be buffed. This doesn't do a whole lot. Either it's like the time it takes to lock onto someone should be decreased so it happens faster, or it should just do more damage, because right now the healing beam and the recon senses are a lot better, and there's not a whole lot of use to the guardian turret right now as it is, especially in ranked. So I think that should probably get a buff and maybe a nerf to the recon senses as well. For the weapons, CL40 could probably do with a buff. Revolver could do with some better iron sights. The shotgun could do with a better, what's it called? Crosshair, because the crosshair doesn't super match the spread of the weapon, I believe. So that would be nice as well. And the AKM and the riot shield are both pretty okay, I would say. But yeah, all of that stuff would be good changes, I think. Probably not going to happen. Like, the revolver rework probably isn't going to happen. The iron sights are probably going to be how they are right now for quite a long time. The CL40 probably isn't going to be buffed either. I'd be surprised if it was, but like, it does probably need a buff. And then the rework, like the decreased crosshair size for the shotgun, I think is very, very niche, and that's probably not going to be buffed either, but who knows, it might be. Now, the FCAR is kind of weird because everyone uses it, right? It's like a very, very good weapon, but it doesn't have the best mag size, which is kind of strange. I honestly think that this still kind of needs a buff, maybe like literally 1 extra bullet in it or 2 extra bullets in it, and it would be great. And I think the AKM should also get buffed so that it just removes, like, the majority of the visual recoil. This thing's got a bunch of visual recoil on it, and if it didn't have as much visual recoil, then I'm pretty sure people would just go for this instead of the FCAR. I think people only use the FCAR because it doesn't have any visual recoil. If we are getting a new weapon, well, I'll get to that later, actually. I'll talk about that later. For the gadgets, the defibrillator, which I've got on here, is probably going to get nerfed. And that's probably going to be a good thing. It's probably going to be changed so that when you defibrillate someone, they no longer have any invincibility on them. So if you shoot them, they just die. I think that's going to be quite good. Or like at least a very high amount of reduced invisibility time. And I think that will... Invincibility. Oh, well, maybe I was saying invisibility. But invincibility. I think that would probably be quite good, because right now it's very, very strong. If you defibrillate someone, you can stand like behind the person you defibrillated, and if they're getting shot at, they're not going to take any damage. They're not going to take any damage, and that's really, really annoying to play against. So if that invincibility time was removed, I think that would be quite good. And then for the rest of the stuff, it would be nice if mines were consistent. Right now, mines feel very, very inconsistent with like the range in which they blow up. Like sometimes you can jump over a mine, sometimes you try and jump over a mine and you blow up. Sometimes you can just like dodge a mine by moving like one footstep to the right, and sometimes you blow up. It's very, very inconsistent. So a bit of consistency to all these things like glitch trap, explosive mine, gas mine would be very, very nice, I think. As for the rest of the stuff, I think it's pretty okay for the time being. The mines inconsistent would definitely be the most, the thing that pops out the most. Then also, of course, the defibrillator. But for the rest, I think it's kind of okay. Obviously, there's stuff that's just not really that good, like the tracking dart, but it's all okay, I would say. And then obviously the reserve is just the same stuff. So to recap that, probably, like, maybe a nerf to the recon senses, which would be fair enough. I don't know how they do it. Maybe they do it so that when you're using the recon senses, like, the enemy team can see you as well. They can see the person that's using it. I think that's how it works in one of the Battlefield games, so that was an idea that I saw somewhere. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it definitely might get a nerf. And also the turret should probably be buffed, because right now it really doesn't have much of a place among the healing beam and the recon senses. And as for the weapons, maybe a tiny bit of a buff to the FCAR regarding the mag size. I would almost prefer like a little bit more mag size and a little bit less damage, I think would be good. Yeah, that's just my thoughts on this. Hopefully a buff to the AKM. I would love for a lot of that visual recoil to be removed, because right now very few people are using this. Hopefully a buff to the CL40. This thing really isn't great, just a mag size increase would be good. And none of the other things are probably going to be buffed right now, but they're all kind of okay. So that's going to be it for the medium. And now we're going to go on to the heavy. Now, for the specializations, these are all kind of okay. I would like for the mesh shields to have a little bit less health. If someone, like, I don't think I've ever shot at them. I mean, I don't think I've ever shot at a heavy and their mesh shield has actually been destroyed. Like, they just always have it. So a little bit of a health reduction to this, I think would be very, very good. Just a small nerf, maybe like 100 HP or something, I think would go a long way. And I think Charge and Sam and Gugun are both quite okay as they are. For the weapons, I think everything's okay here. Maybe buff the M60 a little bit, because, like, it's just not as good as the Lewis gun, so maybe a little buff to that. And, yeah, I think everything else is kind of okay here. Like, maybe a tiny buff to the flamethrower, but I wouldn't go down that route. I'd much rather the M60 be buffed first. Either make the recoil pattern easier, or make it do more damage or something. I'm not so sure, but it's really just not used that much, and it's not a fantastic weapon right now. As for the gadgets, C4 barrels are going to have to be nerfed. I don't know if that's going to be the C4 itself. I kind of hope not, because I think the damage to the C4 is good. I like blowing people up with it. I think the barrels could be nerfed themselves. I think if someone's like holding a barrel and they throw it at you, and you shoot it once with any weapon, I think it should blow up. So if someone throws a barrel at you, you can just actually blow it up by shooting at it, and then that kind of gets rid of the C4 barrel meta. And I think that would be very, very good. So I hope it's not the C4 itself that gets nerfed. I'm hoping it's the barrels themselves that get nerfed, because right now I think the C4 is kind of okay as it is. The dome shield I think should get buffed. This thing in one of the most recent patches got a completely needless nerf. Its HP was reduced by like 100 HP or 150 HP, well, there is absolutely no need, because you destroyed them really, really quickly as is and as was, and then they were nerfed even more. So these things really don't have a lot of health, and they are good, but I would like it if they had like a tiny bit more health, but that's probably not going to happen because they were nerfed already. They're probably not going to be immediately buffed in the next patch afterwards. Everything else here I think is okay. Again, the mines are quite inconsistent, so that would be nice. Like, this isn't going to happen with the RPG, but personally, I think they should remove the dispersion that they introduced. So right now, RPGs are really, really inaccurate. sometimes, so if you're in a match and you're trying to destroy one of those suspended platforms and you're trying to shoot one of the like strings that are holding it, you can't hit that with an RPG. You like have to do it with a barrel. It's like a 50-50 if you hit that with an RPG if you're standing like directly underneath it. So the RPG got 6 nerfs in the most recent patch, and 2 of them were dispersion. One of them was like ADS dispersion, and one of them was no ADS dispersion. And I would just really like it if that was removed so that it was just accurate. I don't really like when, you know, one-shotting a light is up to chance. I just like it if things are accurate, and right now this thing is quite inaccurate. It's still very good, and that's why I'm saying this buff is kind of quite unlikely, but it is something that I personally would like to see. And yeah, that's actually going to be it for the heavy as well. So the main things is probably the C4 barrel for the heavy and the defibrillator for the medium. That would be the main stuff. And then also it was said that we were going to get new content. I don't know if that's a map or if that's a weapon, or I don't know what that is, but if it's a new weapon, hopefully it's for the medium, because the light has a bunch of weapons here, and the heavy has also a bunch of weapons. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weapons, and the medium has... How many weapons does the medium have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They also have 6, but I think just some type of like DMR or like burst assault rifle, a lot of people want. I also would really like some type of semi-auto rifle or burst rifle or like a bow or something like that for the medium, and I know a lot of people have been asking for that, and it would be really cool to see something like that. So if there is a new weapon, I'm hoping it's something like that, and I'm hoping it's for the medium, but you know, it might also just be a new map, but that's still exciting. So there might be like, I doubt it's going to be like a new specialization for each of the classes. There might be like a new gadget for one of the classes or something. I'm not so sure. We're just going to have to wait and see until Thursday. And yeah, that's probably going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.